the channel of thy peace. When in darkness, guide us from above. Where there's sorrow, may we sow thy joy. Where there's hatred, may we share thy love. Lord Most High, our Heavenly Father, all our lives we dedicate to thee. All our labors, all our joys and woes, all our pleasure, all our melody. Make us each a channel of thy peace. When in darkness, guide us from above. Where there's sorrow, may we sow thy joy. Where there's hatred, may we share thy love.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael. It's a joy to be here. Thank you, Paul, for that beautiful reading, and welcome to those also watching us online. I will start with a reading from Whispers from Eternity. This is worship of God as sacred joy found in meditation. O Father, from joy I came, for joy I live, in joy will I melt again. Thou art sacred, perennial joy. Thou art the joy I seek. Thou art the everlasting joy of the soul. Teach me to worship thee through the joy born of meditation. Balance my worship with good action, and teach me to shun all false pleasures which, siren-like, call to me through my misguided senses. So the topic today is how devotees rise. This is a continuation of last week's topic, why do devotees fall? And I think we all know that. We just did a chant, desire my great enemy. It's desire that pulls us down. It's desire that takes us away from our center. From joy I came, for joy I live, in sacred joy I melt. This is a line from Yogananda's poem, Samadhi. When we came, our soul descended from the divine, the infinite soul, and was identified with this body. The soul identified with this body, that is the ego. And when we fix our consciousness on sense objects, I want that education, I want this car, I want this house, I want this, I want that. The more we do that, the further we go away from our center, to the point where we completely forget our spiritual journey, which is the only reason we're actually incarnated in this planet at this time in the first place. We completely forget that. We forget that for lifetimes until we get tired of all that. As Yogananda called it, the anguishing monotony of life, birth, death, coming back again, doing it over and over and over again, that college course that we never pass. We keep doing it, we keep taking it, we're not even realizing that we're actually in this classroom called life, until something wakes us up. And what is that? That's the seed of joy that's within us. And until we remember that, we're not going to start that journey. So how do we rise again? How do devotees rise? There is the story in the Mahabharata, out of which is a very small part, which is the Bhagavad Gita. So what happens, very briefly, it's a It's an epic. I think they did a movie, TV show in India of the Mahabharata that lasted I don't know how many years. The entire nation of India was glued to the TV every week. From what I hear, it's just, I haven't seen it myself. It's the most beautiful, really beautifully done show. So it's a very long story within a story, and more story, and every little part has its own teachings. There is a family, the Pandava brothers, who grew up with their cousins, the Kaurava brothers. And there was the kingdom that was supposed to go to the Pandavas, which was usurped by the cousins. So it all came to a battle. And the night before the battle, Arjuna, representing the Pandava brothers, and there are 5 of them, and they represent our 5 chakras, from the base chakra to the Swadhisthana chakra in the throat area. And so the Pandava brothers, Arjuna, their lead warrior, is inspecting the army with Krishna leading the chariot, and they're going between the 2 facing armies. This is all allegory, of course. No saying general will go between the 2 armies the night before the battle, but he inspects those 2 sides. And what does he see? The hundreds and hundreds of people on that opposing side are his own cousins. And what do they represent? Our desires, our ego, our attachments, our anger, our this and that. So there are 100 of them, the cousins, and there are only 5 of them on this side, of course, with their armies, and this side also with their armies. And when Arjuna sees his cousins on the other side, he tells Krishna, I cannot fight. I cannot kill my own cousins. This is not a worthy fight. And isn't that what we're doing? I have my good aspirations, my divine aspirations, and then I have my desires. I want this. I'll let this one wait. Let me just pursue the money, the fame, the power, the everything. Is that what we do? So Krishna tells Arjuna, you must fight. Number 1, you're not going to kill anyone, because the soul doesn't die. The soul lives forever. You kill the body, it's just like shedding a garment. This body will be gone, we'll get another body, but the soul continues. You're actually helping some. So he told him, you're not killing anyone, so you must fight, and it's a worthy cause, you have to fight. So we cannot forget our whole purpose in this lifetime. Yogananda gave us a homework to become Jivan Muktas, free while living in this lifetime, to become completely free in this lifetime. That's what we need to aspire to. So he told him, you have to fight. And where is this fight taking place? Yes, there is a place called Kurukshetra, the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but that represents our spine. Yogananda said, the brain and the spine are the altars of God. This is where the battle takes place, between good and not so good. And if you're going to win any battle, you have to approach it with multiple prongs. And what are the 2 main prongs that Yogananda gave us? Meditation and right action. Those 2 are not separate, they go together. You cannot have a good meditation, a successful meditation, if you're just sitting there meditating all the time without any action, without any good action, without any divine dharmic action. And you cannot succeed in any undertaking if you're not going to have the calmness and the joy that comes with meditation either. The 2 go hand in hand together. So in our every week reading in the Festival of Light, we talk about how Jesus appeared to Babaji and said to him, the light on the high altar of my church burns slow and is ill-attended. Even though there are good works being done by people throughout the world, the taper of inner communion with the Lord burns slow and is ill-attended. What is that noble taper? That's the meditation, that's the divine communion with the Lord. That burns slow and it is ill-attended. We have forgotten how to commune with the Lord. We have forgotten to meditate. So meditation is number 1. we have to meditate. When we do Hong Sa, the calmness, the peace that we feel in Hong Sa, and the joy that we feel in Kriya practice magnetize the spine, magnetize the astral spine, the altar of God, and bring to us what it is that we need. Not what we want necessarily, but what we need. And that's the aspiration, the divine aspiration. And in action, what's dharmic action? What is right activity? How do we know what something is right or wrong? If it elevates our energy to the divine, it's the right action. If it takes us downwards into emotion, into restless activity, then probably that's something we need to reconsider. So, and when we practice right action, there are things we need to follow. One, we have to have the focus and the steadfastness. In the same story, in the same Mahabharata, when Arjuna was a young man with his cousins and they were being trained by Dronacharya in the art of archery, there was a contest. So the contest was, there was a bird on a tree branch and they were supposed to hit the head of the bird. And so each one came and they would aim, and their teacher would ask them, what do you see? I see the bird. What else do you see? I see the tree. What else? The clouds, the sky. Okay, try. He would miss. Next one comes. What do you see? I see the tree. What else do you see? The clouds and the bird and this. And he would miss. They kept on, and then until Arjuna came. So he aimed. Dronacharya asked him, what do you see? I see the head of the bird. What else do you see? Nothing. What else do you see? I see the head of the bird, and that's it. That's all he saw. I know you're going to hit it, and he did. We have to keep our focus on what it is that we're doing. I think it was Steve Jobs that said, to me, focus is saying no to the 100 other good ideas. There are so many things that our mind just gets scattered into. Forget all that. Focus on the main purpose. And that's what Yogananda is telling us. Focus. And how do we get focus? He gave us the highest technique of concentration, Hong Sa. The more we practice it, the more we get there. There was a study they did on Tibetan monks a long time ago. There were a group of them, I think 20 or so of the monks, and they compared them to other 20 people and not long-time meditators. So what they did was they taught the new people how to meditate, and they all had them connected to encephalogram. That's the thing that measures brain activity. So they all got connected to encephalograms and they would meditate. And the new group, it took them about 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get into that zone of deep meditation. And the Tibetan monks were able to go into it right away because they've been practicing it for a long time. And during the test, what they would do is halfway, they would ring a really loud bell, cling, and everybody gets shaken out of their meditation. Now, it took the new group another 60 minutes or 45 or 60 minutes to get back into that zone, whereas the Tibetan monks, in 30 seconds, they were back at it. So the brain can be trained to focus. Practice, 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 Hong Sa. Also, we have to keep continuing to practice. The spiritual path is not a once a week, Sunday morning church service. It's a lifetime. It's a lifestyle. Kriya is not a technique only. It's a lifestyle. If we practice it, if we make it the centerpiece of our life and everything revolves around it, then we can see some change in us. Other people can see change in us. The calmness, the joy, and the magnetism that comes with it. Swami Kriyananda was asked one time in an interview, do we need a guru? He said, no, unless we want to find God. In this maze of a lifetime, we can't even find ourselves. We can't even know where we are, let alone get to our main goal. If you want to practice, if you want to learn the piano, you need to have a good teacher. That teacher is not going to make you like them. They're going to bring out what's the best in you. In the same way, the Guru will guide us to our own reality, real reality. Without a Guru, we cannot even take a single step. Yeah, we can. We can spend lifetime after lifetime, and unless somebody comes already self-realized into this life, we are gonna need a Guru. We cannot do it without a Guru. One last thing, and I'll stop here. We need to have the Christ consciousness, God's consciousness in everything we do, in meditation. If we want to have joy, if we want to feel God's love in meditation, we have to meditate in that love. With that love, it's not something that we wait for. Same way in activity. If we're gonna put joy and love and God's peace and calmness in everything we do, then we can see the result. Not only are we going to see the result, but it will become a joy. The term brahmacharya, it means one that flows with the Lord. So when we flow with God's grace, nothing becomes work, nothing becomes boring, nothing becomes hard. It's a joy. Whatever comes, let it come. We just put one foot in front of the other. So with meditation, with dharmic activity, with God as the centerpiece, with joy, with the Guru's guidance, and adding focus into it, we can get there. That's how devotees rise. God bless you all.